Bet the Juice Podcast. Cody Mitchell here with the top plays for college basketball Monday, February 16th. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Betting-wise, I did pretty well. Saturday had some ups, had some downs, but man, that plus 425 on the money line with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, baby. Called it on that show on Friday that, I thought one loss would turn to two for Arizona. I thought JT Toppin could neutralize the front court that Arizona has really well, and then Texas Tech could, knock some shots down. So it was a really fun game. I wish Santa Clara would have got it done, but overall, me and Connor will be back this is Sunday night where we're recording, but we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. It'll be out on YouTube, be out on basically anywhere you get your podcast. So we should be basically putting all our stuff out on YouTube now. So it's pretty exciting. But I have 3 games picked out for tomorrow. Last game, is a absolute monster of a game. But we're going to start with a little bit of mid-major action here. Coppin State is headed to South Carolina State. The Bulldogs are laying 4.5. Total set at 143.5. So let's get into this. Because I did lose some money on this game, on a Coppin State game on Saturday. Coppin State is before that win that they had against NC Central was 4-21 on the season, and they were playing at the time the team in first place in the NC Central Eagles, and they win outright on the road 58-56. This Coppin State team, this Eagles bunch, man, back-to-back wins. That's insane. They have 2 wins in a row. I still think this is one of the worst basketball teams. The 364 in KenPom, I would argue they still are the worst team. But, you want to talk about spots of spots, man. They've just won back-to-back games. Coppin State has won back-to-back games. I repeat, Coppin State has won back-to-back games. And you look on the flip side here for South Carolina State, who I do think is a very underrated team. They're 358 in KenPom. It's a little ridiculous. They got blown out a lot of games earlier in the season, and some of the bye games kind of hurt their metrics a little bit. I think that's probably what has had, has them so low on that list. But you know what? A little Zen break there. I think Eric Martin's actually a pretty good coach. He's always had this Bulldogs team fighting for one of the top seeds in the MEAC. Eric Martin, if you don't know, is Bob Huggins' guy. So maybe I'm a little biased there, obviously being a West Virginia guy here. But, dude, I think the Bulldogs are actually pretty good. They haven't played since February 7th, that Saturday game where they got blown out by Howard on the road. But before that, man, they had a win against the non-D1, whatever. But 6-point win at home against Delaware State. They beat Maryland Shore, who's playing pretty good basketball at the time, by 9. They did already play Coppin State. They won by 2 on the road. I actually think the Bulldogs are not bad, whatsoever. I think it's actually a pretty decent basketball team. I think it's one of the best 4 teams. Maybe I would even put a 4. I'd say probably outside of maybe Howard and Norfolk. I guess you could put NC Central in there, but they did just lose to Coppin. I actually think the Bulldogs are actually pretty good. I don't know. I do not understand this 358 and KenPom thing. I think the Bulldogs take care of business. The fact that Coppin is coming in hot with 2 straight wins, I think Eric Martin and the Bulldogs are up to the task. You're not overlooking this team now. I think the Bulldogs take care of business. They win this game by 7 or 8 points. So it's locked that one up. We're going to move on here to the Southern Jaguars are laying 2.5 points on the road at Texas Southern against Johnny Jones and the Texas Southern Tigers. What? It's a little confusing here. So, Southern has won 4 in a row. I believe they might be in first place in this conference, actually. Excuse me, I'm drastically sick, fighting a little bit of an illness here, so I don't want to cough, but sometimes it's just been coming out. But still powering through it, trying to get some picks out for the people. So you got to do what you got to do here. Southern in second, my bad, behind Bethune-Cookman, obviously, and Dr. Bradley. Southern 4 wins in a row. But, man, you're going against Texas Southern. I think Texas Southern, not for this year, but this is still the class of the SWAC. This is still the team to beat in the SWAC. regardless of where they are in the standings. They've been running this league for 15 years. But let's look what they've done at home once SWAC play came around here. So they did lose their first one there, and that was when things were looking bleak. 0-3 to start SWAC play, 2-12 overall. Since then, 33-point win against Mississippi Valley State, which, whatever, Mississippi Valley State. Back at home against Alabama A&M, 15-point win. Alabama State at home, 32-point win. They just played Grambling home, won by 3 on Saturday. Texas Southern's a really, really, really well-coached team. They do have somewhat of a lit home court environment when it comes to at least, kind of like SWAC-wise. It's a pretty decent home court environment. And this is kind of an old SWAC rivalry, too. So I do think the fans show up for this one. I think Johnny Jones is the best coach of this game. He's the best coach of this conference. I think he has the Tigers up and ready to go. I will take the 2.5 points with the Tigers, but to be honest with you, I think Tigers go in here and win this game outright. Let's go, Tigers. Now, we'll let that sax play a little bit longer, but let's get to the game of probably the year tonight or tomorrow. It's probably the game of the year so far. Houston is laying 1.5 points on the road in Hilton against the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State just put the complete freaking ass whooping on Kansas, man. When we did the show on Friday night, we got a 5.5 point number. And, we didn't even really need the 5.5 points. I think it went up to 8 was the close. I think it closed at 8, and that's when everybody was jumping on Kansas. Well, Kansas got literally blitzed from – it was back and forth for a minute, but once they hit around the 2021 point mark game, it was like 21-20, something like that, and then Iowa State just couldn't miss, and they kind of blitzed Kansas in a way where you kind of got Darren Peterson kind of confused, where we haven't really seen that yet from Darren Peterson, where he was sped up a little bit. Tamian Lipsey was tenacious. Machilovich was knocking down just cold-blooded after cold-blooded shot. I mean, I fucking love this Iowa State team. This one's going to tear me apart a little bit because this is two of my favorite programs. They play this style of basketball that I love more than anything. It's the, offense. I mean, both these teams are pretty good offensively, but offense isn't a strong suit. We're going to win the game predicated on defense, hustling, rebounding. It's why my 4 teams that I just continue to love year after year is Houston, Iowa State, Mississippi State, and Seton Hall. I just love that brand of basketball. It reminds me all those West Virginia teams I grew up watching, and West Virginia is kind of like that again now with Ross Hodge. So this one's gonna tear me out a little bit because obviously it's my Jason Kelsey mom, Jason Travis Kelsey's mom game. I got to root for both my children in this game. Where do I go? I think everybody kind of knows where I'm gonna go. It's no shocker if you are a listener of the show for the last at least 3 years. I mean, this is our 3rd year of doing college basketball full time. And we're actually going to finish this year, unlike the first year when I, blew myself up in the fire. But it is what it is. I mean, if you've been a listener through those times, I think you know how much I love this Houston team. But I do really like this Iowa State team too. Going to be honest with you, Iowa State's really good at Hilton. They're really good at Hilton. I know they kept it. They kind of had the scare a little bit against Baylor. But besides that, they've been kind of handling business all in every single avenue. For Houston, so they have Monday, this game's tomorrow, and then Saturday they have Arizona at home. I don't think they're going to be looking ahead by any means because this is still Iowa State, still a top 10 game. I believe Iowa State might be 5th. So it might be rankings come out tomorrow. Who knows where they're going to be. But this is still going to be a top 6-7 matchup. I don't think they overlook them, though. I don't think Kelvin Sampson's that kind of coach either. I know they took it easy on Kansas State this weekend. I was an idiot for betting on that. I think Houston comes in here, and I think Iowa State, these two teams just play very similar. And if Iowa State is going to try to out-hustle and out-tough Houston, it's just not going to work. You're not going to out-tough. You're not going to out-physical Houston. The way to beat Houston is to have more skill. Everybody, you got to have the Jimmies and Joes, the talent, the athleticism, the shooting. And Iowa State does have that to a degree, but there's not a lot of NBA talent on that team. I mean, Chilovich will play in the lead. Lipsy will probably be a guy who, bounces around from team to team for a few years, but he's not staying there long term. I think Traore actually is going to be a star or not a star in the NBA, but I think he'll be a really good NBA player because he's got all that two-way stuff that he does, and his offense is good, but it's raw. So I mean, you give it a couple years, like he's going to be a stud. I really hope he comes back to school next year. But I do think that's kind of the mentality they're going to do. They're going to try to come in there. They're going to try to out-grit. They're going to try to out-grind Houston. And I just don't know if that's the recipe to win. I really don't. I can't remember. I wanted to see if they played Iowa State on the road last year. They didn't. About 2 years ago, did they play in Ames? There was 1 year Ames got them. For sure, yeah. It was 2 years ago. They lost by 4. I think this Houston team's the best team in the country, though. And how you prove being the best team in the country is you go on the road and you win games like this. So I'm also going to lock up Kelvin Sampson in the Houston Cougars. I think they win this game outright. It's going to go back and forth, though. So again, let's do the golden rule. Do not take the 1.5. Do not lay 1.5. Take the money line. Take the plus 1.5. Don't lay the minus 1.5. So, yeah. So that's our 3 plays. Got South Carolina State, minus 4.5. Texas Southern plus 2.5, and some units on the money line. And then we're going to take the money line strictly with the Houston Cougars. All right, that's going to do it for me here. I hope everybody enjoys, everybody listens. Keep grinding. We've been killing these picks here so far, so if you could do me a favor, tell your friends, like and subscribe. New episodes out every Monday and Friday. Elon Musk finally gave me my Twitter back, so you can give me a follow at @CMitchellHoops on there. And just, tell us what you like. Spread the word. It's been getting a little bit bigger, and I'm excited to keep putting this stuff out on YouTube because it's also fun, and it's also helped my gambling out a little bit. So that's awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the podcast show. Peace.